Welcome back to the trash fire that is the Dead Batteries podcast. I'm Dutch.
I'm Jay. Trash fire. It's kind of generous, isn't it?
It could be a trash fire, it could be a tire fire, whatever you want it to be. It's really up to you. It doesn't matter to me.
As long as Oscar the Grouch isn't there, we're fine.
Oscar the Grouch. He is he used to be one of my role models, surprisingly enough.
Oscar, really? How come?
Yeah. Oh, because he was just abrasive and dismissive of everybody and everything, and that's how I used to be. I used to be a real piece of work back in the day as a little shit kid, you know.
Oh, just back in the day?
Damn. Really just went there.
Oh man. Nah. See, but I was like, what the fuck is the blue guy, the blue superhero guy? You know who I'm talking about? I forget his fucking name.
Blue superhero, like Grover, Super Grover.
I think it's Grover. What? Yeah, I think it's Grover.
Yeah.
I was liked him because he was just a silly goofball, and I was like, that guy can make me laugh. I want to be just like him. And here I am. I'm basically Grover, but like not blue. Unfortunately, that would have been cool.
Blue skin. What are you, Avatar?
I'm a Smurf, bro. I'm a Smurf.
You Smurf? You don't want to be an Avatar? You don't want to be a 10-foot tall alien?
I never. First of all,
fucks.
I've never. Oh wow, you got me on that one because there's only one female Smurf, bro. This bitch is getting gangbanged. Easy.
Oh gosh. Wait,
bro,
how old is she?
Don't matter. Okay, your human laws doesn't apply to the Smurf people.
So what you're saying is it
FBI
doesn't
open
apply
up.
because. Oh my gosh,
dude! I have no idea how old Smurfette is or any of the Smurfs, bro. But all I know is that if given the option between the Avatar people and or being a part of the Smurfs, I think it'd be a Smurf. Straight up.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to be 5 inches tall versus 10 feet tall.
Because think about it like this, though. There's out of the entire show, there's only one person who knows where they are, and that motherfucker has a cat. So that's how you know damn well we're never in danger.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's it. What is the Avatar gonna face? Motherfucking humans with machine guns and shit.
Okay.
You see. So who's the real winner here? I will say though, the only issue is that there's only like one female. I don't know how the fuck that works. I don't know how we reproduce.
This is gonna sound freaky, but I've had that same like thought of like, well, not specifically with the Smurfs, but I'm like, if
God, I hope not.
If there was just one, God, if there was just one female in a group, like how would that work? You know what I mean? Because if every this is gonna
go for it. Don't be a baby. Go ahead.
This is gonna sound so degenerate, but just like if every male had offspring with the Smurfette.
Yes,
like how is that? Because then all of those children are going to be related. They're going to be cousins.
And then incest, and then eventually Darwin's award's going to happen. They're all going to get mutations, situations, right? Shitty immune system. Eventually, the population is going to fucking die because.
Oh yeah, no.
Eventually,
for sure.
But maybe that's why they don't reproduce, huh?
That could be. I mean, they could just be immortal. Immortal beings that.
Are you calling the Smurfs gods?
Hold together the fabric of reality. They're Lovecraftian beings.
Oh my god!
They just hold together.
Yo, that would be insane, dude. Like, oh my god, fucking hell. Like, all I'm saying though is I could be 10 feet tall, and I could look like a horse on two legs, or I can just look like a Smurf, bro. I made my choice already. Okay, I don't want to look like a horse.
Yeah. So, according to Wiki here, I mean, she was technically magically created from clay by Gargamel.
Hello? So they're fucking what? They're fucking, what the fuck is the word I'm looking for? They're, damn, what's this shit called? The people who made out of clay in mythology, bro. Fuck.
Which mythology, though? That's the question.
I think it's Greek.
Terracotta soldier?
No, what? No.
Going over to ancient China there instead.
Right. whatever,
Um,
whatever the fuck they're called. But she's artificially made.
yes.
Oh.
So, and I mean, so there's no set age unless you want to count like when she was introduced in the original cartoon, which is like 1981. So she's fine.
She's of age. Well, listen here, Dutch, with your human laws. I don't need them if I'm a Smurf. Okay, we are governed by a different being. Okay, Papa Smurf all the fucking way. He makes the laws. That's why he only fucks for Smurfettes, guaranteed.
That just sounds so gross.
Bro.
That's some Game of Thrones. That's some Game of Thrones
Bro,
level stuff there.
Bro, you know what's
Papa
funny?
Smurf.
You know what's funny? I don't know where it is. I think it's one of these European countries, maybe Denmark. I'm not 100% sure where it is. But did you know?
They fuck their daughters.
No, what? No, that's Alabama, bro. That's right next door. What are you talking about? Yeah, but no. As I said, I don't know if it's Denmark, but I know it's one of these European countries where sex is actually considered a human right. So
Sex is considered a human right.
which means you, I think it's like once a month, the government gives you a prostitute. Like once a month, you get a prostitute, right? Paid and everything like that. You fuck her, and then that's it. And then you're done. And then you wait till next month.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if that's their laws, maybe I gotta move over there.
That's what I'm saying. That's guaranteed what Papa Smurf is doing, bro. Guaranteed. Guaranteed, bro. Like I'm putting my human brain into whatever the fuck their little kid, Smurf mythology is and bullshit. But my adult human brain, right? And I swear to God, I'm thinking with my head on top, right, not the other head. So bear with me. But how do you keep a population full of literally 99.99% of guys in check? How?
You
give them something they want.
okay? Yep.
And
But you have to drip feed it.
Exactly, you gotta drip feed it. That's what I'm saying. So, because think about it like this, Papa Smurf. I don't know how fucking old he is, but he's obviously way older than everybody else, right? So shut the fuck
He's like
up.
1,000 years old.
Shut the fuck up. I see your face. Okay, don't judge me. but okay. So Papa Smurf, right? Whatever. He's 1,000 years old, right? And let's say these motherfuckers are like 300 years old. I don't fucking know. The peak of their Smurf lives, right?
Yep.
And I guarantee, and who the fuck wouldn't speak about a coup, right? Like what person, like sane mind individual in the Smurf country wouldn't think about a coup because he's 1,000 years old, and they just constantly get in trouble with this motherfucker, right? So
Yep.
So if you have nothing to offer, you're 1,000 years old, your time is here, so on and so forth, right? Like in like non-cartoony world version of this shit, I can totally see a coup happening. So how do you keep your power when you literally or maybe have at best half the population on your side? You give them something they've never had before. Women or Smurfette, whatever, and then that's it.
See now my degenerate brain is just going my degenerate brain is just going slowly to like every day she gets passed around to like one a day sort of thing.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know how I don't know how big the population is, so it could be once a day, it could be 10 times a day. I don't fucking know.
We're just so in the gutters right now.
But she's all I'm saying though is she's always very happy and she's blonde. Come on.
So you're applying the dumb blonde stereotype.
Of course. Come on. And first of all, she was made, remember? So she doesn't know, it's like me who's lived in America my entire life moving to Japan, right? I don't know what the Japanese customs are. I don't know what, Japanese culture and stuff like that. So if, a native from Japan tells me, "Hey, Jose, I don't know, we touch each other's dicks after we have a good meal because that's how we say thank you in Japanese." I can't deny that. I don't know if it's true or not, you get me? So I'll just follow the custom, you get me? So if Papa Smurf tells Smurfette, who was created, doesn't know the Smurf culture, that, hey, you being passed around is totally normal, who is she to decide otherwise?
I almost feel like that would be a super funny prank to pull. Just to, like, oh yeah, after dinner, to say thanks, we just grab people's dicks. We just grab their genitals.
Thank you, waiter. It was delicious.
Grab them by the pussy.
Grab them by the pussy. Grab them by the cock.
I saw, what did I see? I saw a meme that was or somebody had posted a video of bringing his girlfriend over to their for family dinner, and they all played a prank on her where they all got up and they started singing the not the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance before dinner. And then she's like, "What the hell's going on? What the hell's going on?" She gets up, she does it, and then at the end when they're done, they spin around and they sit down.
Exactly, right? Like peer pressure is such a good fucking thing. Like it's such
Yep.
a powerful tool, especially when you don't know what's going on. You get me?
It's that mob mentality sort of thing. You have to
exactly.
look like everybody else, and you have to, you're almost forced into doing something because they either they say you're with us, or if you don't do this, you're against us.
Exactly, and it's especially somebody in Smurfette's shoes, because she was created. She doesn't know anybody else. All she knows is the fucking bad guy, whatever the fuck his name is, and the Smurf people, right? And who looks like you, right? Who looks like you, right? So to be ostracized by your own people, 100% not gonna happen. So that's why that's definitely my theory on the Smurfs. I'm just saying it's my own personal theory. So yeah.
Well, what happened with you in the last couple weeks? I know we were gonna do one last Halloween bash, and then I just got absolutely railed at work. I'm talking like back alley, full-fledged,
Like,
just nasty, and
No.
for 12 hours it was it got so bad.
no enema, bro. They just went in raw dog. That's crazy.
No lube.
No lube. Oh my god, dude, that sucks.
I got fucked.
Not in the fun way either, apparently.
Not in the fun way.
Oh man.
But yeah, that happened on. We were gonna record
One more Halloween
like on
special.
Monday, for Halloween, and yeah, I just got railed at work, and then I basically took a couple weeks off just because I went hunting for a couple weeks there. That was
All right,
so that was
population
something.
control, right?
Yes, population control. Yep.
Oh man.
But that was like I probably got the most inebriated I've ever been. Surprisingly, as that may seem, I mean, it's only happened like once or twice. And I was like, some people's metric is you have to throw up at the end of the night or whatever. You have to throw up multiple times. And I'm like,
No.
no, that like I can judge by just how drunk I was. Even I was also drinking water at regular intervals.
Oh wow. Damn.
But I was drinking water at regular intervals because they kept my buddies just kept feeding me shots and shot. They kept feeding the two younger guys at the end of the bar. Me and my buddy, our other buddies, they kept feeding us shots, and it just didn't stop. They almost cut me off because I didn't want any more, and they kept just feeding them, and I had to refuse. I had to just say no.
You refused, so
Stop.
you didn't pull a Smurfette.
What?
Whoa! Whoa! You don't need speed when you're the
Just get absolutely just hammered and
and shit. Jesus Christ, nah, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. But I'm glad you said no, because I wouldn't. I would have just kept fucking going.
yeah, no. I by the end of it, I could barely walk.
Jesus Christ, yeah. I think.
Yeah, no.
I think.
And I don't like to do that. I don't like to do that.
Yeah, me neither. I don't like to get drunk where I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I like to just have a few socials and that's it.
Exactly. I think the one time I got like drunk off my ass was it was through a breakup, so it was like, still fresh in my mind, still fresh in my heart, all that bullshit.
So
And-
you got
No,
hammered.
no. I didn't get hammered because of the breakup. I got hammered
Oh.
because I went to a friend's birthday party, right? And
Okay.
and she rented, and she's like an older lady. She's like in her 40s or whatever.
The woman you were going out with?
Hold on, wait, what woman?
Hey.
Whoa. You're spreading rumors. What are you saying? What woman?
I
No.
ain't spread no rumors. I'm just asking.
No. I didn't go out with her. She was like a work mom.
Ah.
And And yeah, it was her birthday party. She rented out this whole like fucking little area, whatever the fuck. She rented like an actual fucking place, like indoors with the DJ, all that cool shit, whatever the fuck. And I just got caught in the moment, bro. I was like, so I just drink, shot, just and open bar too. So I was like, bet, say fucking
Okay.
less, say
Yep.
fucking less. So then I got drunk, and then I start feeling, that pit in your stomach. So I walk out of the actual place and I find the nearest garbage can, and I'm just there for like a solid 20 fucking minutes. I'm just over there like, oh, it's coming. Okay, it's not coming. It's coming. Okay, it's not coming. And it was just there for like a solid 20 minutes until this one guy, right? He goes over, he looks at me, right? He goes, "Hey, dude, you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And then,
Oh.
and then I fucking throw up my guts, bro. I throw up my guts, right? So I started dry heaving. That's how bad it got. And I was like, okay, now that I'm dry heaving, I'm okay. I got nothing else to lose, blah blah blah, whatever. So I'm gonna go back in the party. But I was like, nah. So I just open my car door. I go inside and I fall asleep for like 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
I fall asleep in my car for like 3 fucking hours, and then like you're like in that slumber where like you're asleep, but you're still aware of your surroundings. And all I hear is like random motherfuckers who are like, next door to me, like the car's next to me. They're just like, "Look at this motherfucker, bro. He's asleep. He got wasted, blah blah." I was like, "Shut the fuck up. I'm trying to sleep," like in my brain.
Yep.
And then I was just knocked the fuck out, dude. And then I eventually got up and I was sober enough to drive, and then I got home. But damn, that's the worst I've ever gotten, and I never want to go back to that. Never.
Yeah, no. No, that sounds like it's awful.
It's awful too, cause it's awful too because I'm like the loopy drunk. Like I'm like there's different types of drunks. There's the aggressive drunks. There's the sad boy drunks. There's a lot of drunks out there, and I'm the loopy kind. I'm the one who would just make shit funnier. You get me? Like I'd be like, "Dude, look at this! I can put my leg behind my back," and I just fall on my ass.
Yep. So you're the stupid drunk.
I'm the stupid drunk, and I'm happy I'm that drunk compared to any other drunk.
I remember like the first time I threw up drinking, I was summer classes had just ended, and I was celebrating because I had just gotten a bottle of rum as a gift, as a birthday present. I was waiting to actually, drink it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that night I drank like 3 rum and cokes, a rum straight, a beer,
Fuck.
and like I had like a shit ton of homemade pizza. And so I go to bed and I didn't drink any water. So of course, I get up at 3 a.m. and head over to the toilet and we start having an intimate conversation. So that was fun.
Intimate. No.
Yep, that's what I call that. I also call
puke in
I
my
also
mouth,
ca-
baby.
God. I
You try to recreate Two
call-
Girls, One Cup, huh?
oh, where's the plane ticket?
Ooh, say less. I will buy it for you, bro. I'll shit in your mouth.
I also call going to the bathroom taking Westeros.
We're taking Westeros. Whoa.
Because you sit on the Iron Throne.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that was a bad one. I remember the second time I've done that ever. I think it was last year or the year before. Went over to a friend's house. We played Cuphead throughout like the wee hours of the night, and we were just drinking. We were just hammered, right? We were just fucking hammered, and we're just screaming at each other, screaming at the screen, "Get me! Get me! Get me! Get him! Get him! Get him! Get him!" Oh my gosh! And then I woke up the next morning, sat in front of the toilet for about 20 minutes like you did, and I was just waiting, and then finally it was the most violent thing I've ever experienced. I thought I was fucking gonna die or something. It was just so violent and visceral.
Fuck. Those are the worst.
Coming out my nose.
That's the worst. Oh my god, when your nose is bleeding and everything.
Yeah, just
dude.
burning, and then for like 3 days after that, my throat was so swollen I could barely swallow.
Hey, hey, don't tempt me with a good time.
Mm.
But yeah, man, fucking drinking, like when I get drunk, right? When I get a little bit like tipsy or whatever the case might be,
Mm.
I get more honest. You get me? Because we all have a filter in our mouths, right? We all have a filter in the way we speak, where instead of calling you an ugly piece of shit, I'm like, hey, maybe you can do this to feel better, or maybe you can do this to
Mhm.
look better, whatever the case might be. Have you ever tried some
Yep.
cream on your fucking face, or whatever the case might be, right? But now when I get loopy drunk, I'm just way more fucking honest, bro. And that to me scares me because I'm like, I don't want to say some shit where maybe I shouldn't have.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I'm a firm believer of suffer in silence.
Mm.
Um,
So toxic masculinity.
type of situation. Like don't get me wrong, I am totally willing to go ahead and be like, hey Dutch, bro, I'm going through this shit. Can I talk to you about it? Like 100%.
Mhm.
But at the same time, though, it's like I know if it's something I can deal with, something something that let's say my dog died or something like that, right?
Mhm.
Like that it's something I know I can deal with. I'm willing to
Mhm.
suffer in silence, just get through it, and just be better, and whatever the case might be.
Mhm.
But at the same time, though, I don't like to lie. Don't get me wrong. I'm not
Mhm.
some sort of manipulative person where it's like I just lied to you about whatever the fuck. But at the same time, though,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna take your bullshit. I'm not going to, if you're fishing for compliments, you're not gonna get it from me type of situation. You get me?
Mhm. Mhm.
Like if I tell you, hey, Dutch, if you keep walking in the path you're walking, there is a foot right there. That person in your life is gonna trip you and make you fucking fall. And you're like, I don't care, Jose. I don't see that. It's not gonna happen. I'm like, cool. Bet. Say less. Enjoy your trip. You get me?
Mhm.
But because at the same time, though, it's like I do believe there is a time and a place for lying. You get me? I'm not talking about like
Mhm.
full bloated lies, like, hey, baby, bro, I got a Bugatti, bro. I live in a mansion in Star Island in Miami, bro. I am a rich, successful billionaire. Like, come over here and suck my dick. You get me? Like, I don't believe in that shit. I'm never gonna fake me, but I do understand where there's a time where you gotta be a little bit
You got
less of you.
yeah, you got to know the time and place of what information to divulge.
Exactly. Exactly.
Don't, like I said, don't pour your life story out to some stranger on the train,
Exactly.
which
Exactly. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. And to be fair, to you and the audience, you already know this, but I'm drinking a bottle of fucking soju right now, and I'm about
yep.
halfway done. So,
Jesus.
so I'm a little bit tipsy right now. I'm not gonna lie to you, but
Mhm.
let me ask you a question. Pick pick a friend, pick a good friend, pick a best friend. Right? You don't gotta say the name, but pick somebody. Okay?
Okay.
Got him. Perfect. Perfect.
Okay,
An
got him.
audience, please do this as well. So you pick your best friend. Now, I don't know if they have a girlfriend or not, but let's assume they have a girlfriend, right?
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
great. Or a boyfriend, whatever, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Now, if your best friend cheats on said girlfriend, are you telling or are you not telling?
If my best friend cheats on his girlfriend,
Are you
and
telling
I
or are you not telling?
okay, so the
And obviously, this is going to be, very specific because maybe you have kids, maybe you don't have kids,
yes.
maybe they're only a couple months in, maybe they're a couple
Mhm.
years in, stuff like that. But
Yep.
just generalize it as much as possible.
Okay. Um so if I found out about it and he
Don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. Don't worry
yeah,
about
no,
him.
no, 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 I'm just saying I'm s- I'd probably still end up telling
Mm-hmm.
just cuz it isn't fair to the other person.
But is that your
Uh
place? But is that your place as a third party looking in their relationship? Is that your place?
okay. So and then what you just proposed there is if I knew about it but he didn't know that I knew about it.
It's-
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, let's go with
So
that.
like so let's go if we're going in that direction, then I would tell him that I know
You cheated.
that he cheated.
Okay.
And then I would be honest with him and I say you need to tell
So and
her.
so, right?
You need to tell you need to tell so and so and you need to figure this out cuz
Okay.
if you let this lie as it is, the longer it goes, the worse it's going to get.
Right.
That's just nature.
But
That's how it is.
but wouldn't you also believe in what doesn't what's the saying is what you don't know doesn't hurt you type of situation? Wouldn't you also believe in that?
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Just think about it, because this is my thing. This is a very like situational maybe not situational. I feel like situational is the wrong word. It's a bit more of a conflicting principle in my mind because there's a part of me that does want to tell because you're right because the exact same reasons, right? It's not fair to the other person. She has a right to know, or he, whatever. And if you know, then I feel like you're a piece of shit for not telling. You get me?
Okay. Go ahead. No, go
But
ahead.
but then there's this other side that it's like, is it your place to tell? Is it your place to get involved in a? Because obviously a relationship is 2022 whatever, but a relationship is between two people. You get me? So in my opinion, it's like who the fuck am I to get in that? You get me? Like because at the end of the day, I could ruin it. At the end of the day, I could make it better. At the end of the day, I don't fucking know what the fuck it costs. So is my place, my position, something I'm willing to jeopardize? You get me? So it's very like if you ask me this question,
Okay. Yeah. No. So, okay. So let's do it the other way then.
Okay.
And let's do it where I caught him in the
Yes.
act of cheating
Yes.
instead of
Yes.
just finding out about it.
yes,
I caught him in the act of cheating.
Yes.
I saw a text, or I actually walked in, or saw him in public, or whatever.
okay,
I would still approach him and I would say that you need to pick. You can't if you're you can't eat your cake and have it too. That's
right, of course, right.
the yeah no you the yeah I would clearly I would get on his ass and say, hey, you need to figure this out and you need to choose what you're gonna do, but you still have to tell that other person.
Right.
At
Okay.
the end of the day, it's their choice.
Of course,
But
of course.
I probably, like you're saying, I probably wouldn't go to the spouse, the significant other, whatever, and say, hey, because I would have, because if I would do that, I would say this is not my place, and then blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, it's not my place in the first place, so I wouldn't do that in the first place. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, see that's like it's such a hard question to answer because you want to do good, right? You want to do good. The other person 100% has a right to know, but at the same time, is it your place to tell them, right? Like, is it your place to get involved in their relationship? And that's kind of where
It's not. I wouldn't say it's necessarily getting involved because, well, okay, there is an element of getting involved.
Of course,
but
because you have to
you're
tell
not.
them.
You're not because you have to tell them, but leaving. Leaving the other person to just continue what they're doing and then expect them by themselves, not saying anything. Not saying anything to the person who is cheating, whether you know that they know or whether you just know that they've done it, like expecting them to come to that conclusion themselves is not realistic.
Of course not.
There has to be an outside force acted upon you. There has to be an outside influence of like, hey, you did this, you fucked up, you need to, at the end of the day, again, like I said, it's their choice.
Right.
But you have to tell them, and you have to at least put it in their mind that obviously they know what they're doing is wrong, but they have
Okay.
to atone for those.
Okay.
They have to
Okay.
go out and they have to tell that person.
Oh, right, of course. Let me
that is objectively better.
let me throw a little monkey wrench in there. What
Okay.
if you confront the person, right? Hey, so and so, you're cheating. This is wrong. Blah blah blah. Whatever. And you should tell your significant other, right? And then they go, yeah, sure, I'll tell them. And then days goes by, weeks goes by, whatever the fuck, and you get the notion, right, that they're never gonna tell their spouse.
Yep.
What do you do then?
Okay, so from what you said, without giving any extra
Right.
context or information, like I said, yeah, I'll tell them, but without reinforcing that, and like telling them, hey, this is wrong, but from your reply was,
Right.
yeah, I'll tell them, but I think at that point, I
Yes.
would. Yeah, no, this is a very complex question.
It's very complex because this is one of those
Because what I would do is I would make one final
push.
try.
Okay.
Because I'm the kind of guy that's like one and done. If you fuck up once, you get one try, you get one more,
Of
and
course.
that's it.
Once you lose my
There's no
trust,
three
that's
strikes.
it. Yep, that's
You
it.
you there's no three strikes you're done rule with me. Like if you want to fuck with me, fine. It's kind of that fool me once sort of thing.
Of
You know?
course.
Fool
I'm
me
never.
once. After
Shame on
that,
you. Exactly.
after
Fool me
that
twice, shame on me.
game, after that game's off. You know, gloves off.
Of course.
But I would make one final push, and I would tell them like, hey, I would give them an ultimatum of some kind. Either you tell her, or I will, or I'm not going to talk to you again. Whatever whatever the case may be, try and make them understand like, hey, this has to stop. And I like it's the idea of ripping the band-aid off. You can't just leave it to sit there for the right time.
Okay.
It has to come off.
Okay. Of course. And your best friend is something you're willing to sacrifice? Because obviously, because obviously, they feel a certain type of way.
No, for sure. No, I get that. But here's the thing: if they are my best friend, and if they are willing to sacrifice years of friendship over one, just a couple, 30 seconds of dialogue with that person's spouse or with them or whatever, then they really weren't worthy of having as a friend in the first place.
Understandable, but I do want to just pick at that little 30-second of dialogue situation because it's not 30 seconds.
Whatever.
You're
Well,
right. It's
however many seconds.
Right. But I mean, I'm not talking specifically about the time of 30 seconds. I'm talking about specifically in the sense of like, they're going to talk about it. They are significant others going to feel a certain type of way. And then there's going to be a redemption arc, if any, or they just break up. You get me? So their future is going to be fucked up one way or the other. You get me?
Yep.
So it's more than 30 seconds. That's all I wanted to touch.
Yeah, no.
But 100%, that's a situation I personally do not know what I would do until I'm in that situation. Because, as I said, there's a part of me that wants to do the right thing, wants to tell the significant other, hey, so-and-so cheated, get the fuck out. There's a part of me that says, is that my place? You get me? Like should I be the third party coming in and fucking up everything? You get me? That's a part I don't know, and I feel like I will never know until I get in that situation.
Yeah, no, I mean, at the end of the day, it still is just a hypothetical
Hypothesis,
until you're in that situation,
Of
if
course.
you ever come into that situation. But, no, I would tend to mostly agree with that. But I think there has to be some interjection. It's kind of like an intervention. For somebody who's doing drugs,
Of
obviously
course.
what they're doing is bad.
Of course.
And if they keep doing it and they say they're gonna stop,
Right.
Their word is only, you can't take their word as it is. They have to follow up on it.
Right. And let us,
what I mean?
and anybody who's listening, let us know in the comment. What would you do? Because this is a very complex questions. I really want to hear what everybody else would do.
The moral and ethical quandaries of the Dad Batteries podcast.
man, it's just such a fucked up. It's just such a fucked up situation to be in. But I don't
Maybe
know
we
what
should do an amateur philosophy podcast.
Yo, say less, bro. I have so many philosophical questions. We'd be willing to.
Let's get Rainn Wilson. Let's
I
get
don't know.
Rainn Wilson in here.
I don't know who that is, but let's do it.
Dwight from The Office, dude.
Dwight, dude. I'm sorry. I only watched like season 2 up to season 2, and then I got bored.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
I've only watched like 5 episodes of The Office.
The only thing I know to heart is the chili falling, and that gets me every time.
Yep, that one does get me every time.
Let me ask you a question, Dutch. Is what I'm trying to word it because I had it, but now it's gone. Do you feel that sometimes you got to do the negatives to get to the positives?
Do the negatives to get to the positives.
Like in a situation, for example, like drinking. I feel like that's a very common situation where you gotta get drunk, you gotta fuck up your liver, you gotta get all this icky stuff in your system. But then you get to the positives where you just have fun, you enjoy, you relax, you're a little bit tipsy, all that mumbo jumbo, and you're a little bit more, I guess, freer, if you will. Like, do you feel that's a very?
It depends.
Of course.
It depends on the severity of the bad and the intensity of the good.
For example, here's a good example. Dante's Inferno.
Okay, yep.
You know, Dante had to go through hell on 9 layers, right? Just walk, talk with Virgil, do everything he had to do in order to get his wife's soul back. That's a shitload of negatives, right? Because you got to suffer, you got to go through all that
Yep.
just to get to the positive, which is you save your wife's soul, and I think he ends up in heaven or purgatory, some shit like that. But like, do you feel, and specifically maybe not Dante's Inferno, but something along those lines? Do you feel maybe knowing the outcome, do you think that will significantly persuade your decision on taking the negatives? Like if I was to tell you, hey, Dutch, if you go to hell, right, all 7 layers, blah blah blah, you can get one wish, whatever the fuck you want it to be, right? Or if I just tell you, hey, you have to go through these 7 layers of hell to get something. Like, do you feel knowing the outcome can persuade your decision on taking the negatives? And is that and would that equivalent into you doing it for the right reasons or the wrong reasons?
So, that's a good question.
This is what happens when I'm tipsy, bro.
This is what happens on a daily basis for me. This is an existential crisis. So knowing the outcome, depending on the outcome,
Right.
would I suffer? This is kind of like like fucking Fear Factor or something.
Of course.
Fucking sit in a tub of bugs, centipedes, and all that for $1 million.
Exactly. See, but you know you're getting $1 million. What if I just tell you, hey, you got to go through this Fear Factor episode and you get something at the end? You get me?
But that is all dependent on if I can make it through the challenge too.
Of course. But you know, and like that's the thing though. Like because I do personally believe that if I tell you, hey, if you do this entire Fear Factor episode and you can get $1 million if you win, versus hey, do this Fear Factor episode and you get something or something big or something major or whatever the fuck at the end, you know, that can persuade people to do it or not do it. But if I know the outcome, if I know I'm getting $1 million, would that be, you know, for the just reason or not? You get me? And obviously, you know, this is a very situational example.
It's nuanced.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. So
I think, you know, it just depends on the person. Me personally, if I had to, depending on what I had to suffer, like if I had to go like through some like absolutely torturous, you know, like Saw style trap in order to gain
something.
Let's say, you know, fucking whatever it may be. I don't know. I think that's one of those situations of you cross that bridge when you get to it, you know.
Of course.
If I was given that situation, like fucking eat a glizzy in one bite, or you're dead.
Not a glizzy.
Like, or somebody's gonna die. Somebody you know is gonna die.
That's a hot dog for you non-New Yorkers.
But like, yeah, no, it's
right. It's such a tough question, right?
It also depends on the ability of the person, you know, like if they're not only like mentally
right, but does the ability matter? Like obviously, you know, if I was to go lift 500 pounds, I can't fucking do it. But I feel like a mental ability is much more harder to judge. Get me? Because a lot of people, they don't know what they can do until they get in that situation. So
it's like you know, those bursts of adrenaline that will never
fight or flight. Like
mothers have been known to
lift cars and shit.
Lift cars and shit off of their babies, and you know they'll never be able to do that again because that's such a intense situation that their adrenaline just pumps through their body at an unimaginable level. Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting to think about, you know, these thought experiments and stuff like that, for sure.
100%, dude. It's like if I was to tell you, hey, do this experiment, right? Like the Russian sleep experiment, for example, and you get your freedom as a prisoner of war. Like, is that something you're willing to do? Because you don't know the outcomes. You don't know what's going to happen in 30 days of not sleeping. this gas constantly being pumped into your systems. You don't know if it's, gonna fuck you up, with cancer or something like that at the end of the fucking day.
We as an audience know.
Exactly. We as an audience,
guys-
though. You get me?
Yeah.
You know?
The-
But you as a person in the story and actually doing it, you don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. Especially if it's experimental and you're the first fucking victim.
Yep.
It's
Very much like an Overlord situation. You ever watch that movie?
Yes, it was such a crazy fucking movie, dude.
It was.
Such a crazy movie.
I wish that leaned more into the horror.
Yeah, dude, 100%, 100%. Like the ending was the only horror aspect of it.
Well, no, I mean it had a slow tension buildup, of horror, of these Nazi guys running experiments
Yeah.
with this goo,
Yeah.
and like there was sprinklings of that throughout, and then the ending and like the back half of the movie was like almost all action. But
Yeah.
I wish there was a little bit more of the action horror aspect. Which, if you watched Prey on Hulu, that new Predator movie.
With the Native American person, right?
Yep,
I didn't
yep.
watch it. I didn't watch it. No, I gave up after the previous
The
Predator
previous
movie.
Predator?
Yeah,
no, that
I
one
give
was hot garbage.
Yeah.
But no, this one actually is really good. It's kind of like a return to form. It's very structurally similar to the first Predator movie.
I'll see if I can give it a watch, but I don't know. As I said,
I would.
I gave up after the last movie. So
I know you did, but this one actually did. I didn't have a whole lot of faith in this one either. I'm gonna be honest with you.
look,
I'll be honest with you. I saw the trailers and I was like, wow, they're bottom of the barrel type stuff. And then I saw reviews, and then I watched it for myself, and I was like, wow, that was actually surprisingly
decent.
pretty good. Yeah,
Okay.
that was actually pretty good.
Okay. Let me. All right. And do you have anything for me? Because I feel like I've been taking most of this podcast today. You have anything you want to touch?
In terms of what?
In terms of anything you want, a topic, anything.
I'm fine for right now. You
Okay.
go ahead.
All right. So then how about how do you feel about shit, I just fucking lost it. God damn it. Okay, so
That's what happens.
it's fucking
That's
good.
what happens.
It's fucking gone. It's gone now.
You walk into a room and you can't figure out why you're in there anymore.
Accurate as fuck. I opened the fridge and I'm like, why am I here? Why am I here? What do I want to
You're
eat? What do I want to touch?
Staring into the abyss of just like, okay, now I'm here. What now?
Okay. All right. How about let me put you on the spot right now. How about you ask me a philosophical question? How about that? What you got?
I don't have anything right
Come
now.
on,
I
Dutch.
don't
You gotta have an existential crisis. Come on.
An existential crisis. Okay. This is one that, I don't think of too often, but I did have a conversation with my
Yes.
grandma a couple years ago.
Graham.
Right.
Okay.
Yep, my grandma. And she grew up Catholic, and I've attended, quite a few masses with her, and, Catholicism, if you're Catholic, if you've ever been to a mass, those things take all fucking day. They just stand up, sit down, on the knees, sit down, stand up, fucking just all the time, just praying down, sit down, stand up, hymns, songs, do all this, come up for communion. It's surprisingly, it's very active. more than any other Christian
That's my workout for the day.
sect. Yep. My Sundays. That's my Sundays. Stand
Every
up,
Sunday?
sit down. Nope. No.
Oh, I was about to say,
But
Dutch.
no, I was just saying. I'm just making a joke. But I had this conversation with her a couple years back, and it always kind of stuck with me. She said, and she goes to church like 3 times a week, and good for her. She loves it. She likes to do what she likes to do, right? And her and I had this conversation. I can't remember how we got to the topic, but I was like, about extraterrestrial life, right?
Ooh.
And I asked her, I was like, because I believe
Okay.
not necessarily that there's hyper intelligent life like us.
Okay.
I just know that there has to be something more, like bacterial,
Mm.
alien fauna. Because think about it like this: if God,
Okay.
if God existed, at least
Yes.
in in my opinion, I'm not a believer anymore. If God
Mm.
existed, why only have the one planet out of 14 billion light years? That's some, I can't remember how many miles are in a light year, but that's a lot. That's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
space,
Mm-hmm.
and it's continually expanding, right? Think about it. All 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 life, according
Mm-hmm.
to Christians, is centered on one tiny,
Mm-hmm.
insignificant speck. If God loved as He did, universally, unilaterally, whatever, why are we just one tiny planet in an ocean of nothing? You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
where, why wouldn't He share that with the rest of the universe? You know what I'm saying?
Because you're special, Dutch.
Eh, you know, I mean that's what faith is. It's just
Mm. Just believing,
it's just believing,
of
and
course. And
but
that's a very
but
good point.
and then she's like, but my grandma said, so those are my beliefs, and I told her, I was like, do you believe in extraterrestrial life? And she's like, yes. And
Oh.
I said, why? And she said something to the effect of kind of the same thing, like what I just stated. Like God was good enough to expand His love outward from our one planet.
Mm.
I think, if I remember correctly, it's been quite a few years since that
Mm.
conversation, so the details have been lost
Right.
on me. But
Right. Right.
it was interesting to hear from her, and I was like, but wouldn't Christians and any other religious group have an identity crisis?
Right. Because it questions what you believe in.
Because it questions what you believe in, because they're taught that life is just existent on this planet. God is only focused on this one planet in just a vast expanse of you know space.
There's this. I feel like this is very like in topic, but some people can disagree. There's this one saying that goes, you want to know who's in control, just find out who you can't talk about. You know,
Okay.
and 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 my thing is with that is it's like I don't believe we're the only species out here that has sentient life. Unlike
Mm-hmm.
you in terms of like I do believe bacteria and all that. Other
Mm-hmm.
like
You think that
very
there's
basic life
highly
form out there.
intelligent
Yes, I do believe there's highly intelligent life form, in the sense of like, in the sense of like,
spacefaring?
well, I don't know about space fairies. More like
Faring.
fairing. Explain. What do you mean?
Space, like they're capable of space travel,
Yes, a hundred
like
percent,
interstellar space, like because
dude.
we've gone out to space and we've
Yeah,
sent probes, but we're not spacefaring. You get me? We're not able to ship off from planet to planet
of
yet.
course,
We're
of
not
course,
able to extend our
of course.
reach.
I thought you meant
Our
fairing. I'm not
human
gonna lie.
reach, our human reach has not gone past the moon.
Of
That's
course,
our, like, physically our human hands. Obviously, we've sent out satellites and everything like that, but
of
there's
course,
no other human presence that extends. Like, we haven't gotten to Mars. That's what I'm
of
saying.
course, of course, of course. And I do believe there is, like species out there able to do space travel. Spacefaring,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
because because to say we're the only species out there that's A, sentient, B, able to do basic, super basic space travel. I feel like it's a very conceited notion, because you never know
Mm-hmm.
what's really out there. Because you said it yourself, there's like, what is it, 14 billion light years of space between both ends of the spectrum, and it's just continually expanding. To say we're the only species out there that's able to do space travel, I think it's a very conceited notion. And not to mention,
Yeah.
like there are planets out there that were here way before Earth, way before our little planet, and I'm guaranteed there's species out there that was way before the planet was even born. So obviously they have more time to develop, more time to mature, more time to, get their scientists in order and figure out space travel, and then, and guaranteed to have different materials, different ways to power, to harness said materials, raw energy and stuff like that. Because all we have is Earth metals and plus whatever asteroids crash into Earth and their materials. So we don't know what the fuck the remainder of the metals. I think they said, like, is it Pluto or Neptune or one of these like planets is like 80% diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so it's 80% diamond. You get me? So
Yep.
each planet has their own materials, whatever the fuck they're very 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 nutritious in, and what they're lacking. And to say a species can't, let's say, grow up and eat diamonds would be a very like a fallacy. You get me? Because how can you prove that? Then again, how can you disprove that? You get me?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a very interesting notion and something I do dabble with. I do believe there's sentient beings out there that are capable of space travel, like very advanced space travel, like light years and 3 second space travels.
And then, but I also think that we are not. There's a high improbability of any like extraterrestrial life coming to our planet, and if they do, we're really. I mean, we're not a threat.
Guaranteed not.
But like, think of it like this: say an interstellar travelers
Okay.
just passing through, and they're coming. It's almost like they're coming into, like, they're turning off into a neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're turning off into a neighborhood, and like that's our solar system, right? All they're gonna see is, oh, look at that little blue planet down there. I wonder what's down there. Or they're not going to see it at all, right?
Right.
There's no. We're not sending off any indication of, like, hey, let's notice us. Outside of those probes and everything, we're not like.
Yeah.
It's one tiny planet. It's among the all vastness of space. Nobody's gonna know. It's like you're driving by and you miss a squirrel.
Squirrel.
Every so often you're gonna see a squirrel when you drive by.
Exactly.
A tree. That's
exactly.
it. It's a squirrel.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Because what do researchers who go, like what do all these people who go into those islands that are very like that are like very like hazardous, but they're going in there to identify new species and stuff like that. Like, what do? They just
Researchers?
go in. Yeah, exactly. They just go in there, they observe, and they get the fuck out. Like, that's it. Like, who's to say they haven't done that with us? Oh, here's planet Earth. They're full of human beings. Get the fuck out. They're irrelevant because their technology is super primitive. They're basically fighting with sticks and arrows. You get me? So and to say that we're the most advanced species is a very conceited notion that I just can't agree with.
Yeah, no, I get that. It I can't remember who said it, but I can't remember if it was Einstein or whoever it was, but they said either we are completely alone in the universe or we aren't, and both are equally terrifying. I don't know who quoted it. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I apologize, but yeah, no, that's equal. Both of those possibilities is equally terrifying.
Of course, because they have to have researchers. They have to have people who go out there, like explorers who go out there and mark the territories and say this planet is isolated, this planet has population, this planet has growing bacteria, blah 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 blah. Because what type of advanced civilization wouldn't do that? You get me? Because not only does that protect you in the sense of like who's a threat and who's not. And you get more data.
And what's important
exactly,
and what's not.
Exactly. And what resources maybe you can farm out, what resources maybe you can trade with, or whatever the case might be. You get me? So, so once again, to say that we're the only planet that is able to have, our mental capacity is, in my opinion, highly incorrect. Highly conceited notion, that just, So, I don't know because, you ever gone to your, let's say, one of your favorite restaurants or one of your favorite, parks or whatever the fuck, and then instead of taking the path you normally walk, you take a different path. You're like, oh shit, I've been in this park for many years, but I've never known that.
Mm-hmm.
You get me?
Exactly. Yeah,
So
you come in and you, with your older brain and your sometimes not necessarily your better eyes, but you're more
observant
attentive
eyes,
to
yeah.
everything. Yeah, you see, oh, I didn't know that was here, or that's new. Well, it wasn't, but
It
you
was
just noticed it now.
exactly. So that's my thing though. Like I do believe extraterrestrials exist. I do believe we're, if anything, best case scenario in the bottom of the food chain. Worst case is we're
Oh
not
yeah.
even in the food chain.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, dude, I'm just waiting for the day when one of us makes contact, some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm. No, that I mean that, and depending on if we have another extinction event
Yeah,
within the next couple million or billion years, and
yeah,
humans are still around at that point in time, uh, we still could never find any extraterrestrial life,
you're right. You're
or they
right.
could never find us.
Yeah,
Again, the universe is so unimaginably vast that it is
it's
statistic.
it's
It's
incomprehensible.
it's statistically almost the statistical probability of somebody finding us or
Yeah,
we finding them is infinitesimally
just play
infinitesimally small.
to understand how this works. Just play vanilla No Man's Sky. That's it.
Yeah, with their shitty gameplay.
That's it. That's it. And now you understand. But yeah, dude, it's something I do dabble with, and it's something I do consider. Like, I don't think in
Hmm.
my lifetime, in my children's lifetime, my grandchildren, my grandchildren's lifetime, we're ever gonna make contact. But I do feel it's a matter of time because either the sun blows up the entire human race, or we transition to different planets and we figure shit out.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I mean, the sun right now is halfway through its lifespan,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I mean, there's not a chance of it just completely snuffing out of existence or
No.
expanding, because when the sun eventually expands and turns into a supernova, like
We're dead.
that we're dead. I mean, the planet Earth will eventually go out of will be consumed by the sun, because when it expands, it'll expand up to about where our planet
Yeah.
orbits,
Yeah.
and then yeah, no, it's
Yeah, I think Mars becomes a new Mercury or something like that.
hmm
So yeah, that's an interesting notion, man. Like it's not gonna be in any of our lifetimes, but it's gonna be
no.
something interesting to see happen.
I I would I would give anything, I would
Y-
give anything, even to just like see within the next couple million. I can't remember when, but like when, because Andromeda, our galaxy is on a collision course with Andromeda, right?
Mhm.
And because they're gonna come closer to each other, and then they're gonna merge. They're gonna kind of smash into each other and merge, eventually becoming one large galaxy.
Mm.
Um, I would give anything to at least like go forward in time to be able to at least see it, like as like in the sky, visibly, just huge across the whole fucking sky. I would love to go forward in time just to be able to see that at night. The fucking Andromeda galaxy is right fucking there. You know what I mean?
Would you go through the 7 layers of hells for that?
Ooh,
See,
maybe.
maybe. Wow. Okay. Now I know how to tempt you. Um.
I wouldn't want Toki's powers from One Piece. Just go ahead every 80 years
Yeah, but you can't go
and
back
just
though.
jump.
That
I know,
you can't go
exactly.
back. But that's such a terrifying thing. Think about it. You make cool friends. 80 years down the line, they're fucking dead. Like
Hmm.
you don't know anything. You don't know the culture. You don't know flying cars. You don't have a flying car license or whatever the fuck the case might be. So terrifying.
I'm just gonna tell everybody, hey, goodbye. I'm heading 80 years into the future. I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna just keep jumping. I'm just gonna stick around for a couple days, see what's going on in the world. 80 years, and then another 80, and then another 80, and another 80.
That is a terrifying notion, though. Damn.
It's like instead of a nomad in space,
You're a
I'm a
nomad.
nomad in time. Instead,
Oh,
I'm pulling a Chris McCandless in time instead of around the U.S.
That's
Just
That's
go
a-
exploring.
that's a very very interesting comparison. Mm. I don't know,
Because
man.
I don't know if you read that book or not.
I did not, but I understand the gist. But I don't think that's something
Mm-hmm.
I would be able to do, man. Like leave
Just drop everything.
just drop everything and move. You get me? Because you know you got
Mhm.
family, you got friends, you got life. Like, you know, 80 years down the line, your job may no longer exist. Your U.S. currency may no longer be valuable. Maybe the Chinese took over. You know, now you gotta deal it in you know Chinese currency and shit like that. Like it's just a crazy thing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You got no time to prepare. You just right there.
Here's another. Well, I don't know how far we want to go because I know we're hitting just about an hour. But
Yeah.
here's another thing. Do you believe in the butterfly effect?
Ooh, that's
If we go
good.
back in time
Right,
and we change one small thing,
right.
does that accumulate,
Ah, man.
no matter how small?
Okay. Theoretically, I do believe in butterfly effect
Okay.
because you never know what could happen. You know, because you never truly know what your actions now can equivalent into the future. You get me? Like maybe this time we're spending at the podcast, we could have been spending in bars and finding a girlfriend or so. You know, some bullshit like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you never fucking know what your actions now can equivalent into the future. So I do believe the butterfly effect does happen. Or it could happen, right? If anybody can theoretically go back in time and change whatever the fuck they're gonna be. Like if Hitler never
Mm-hmm.
happens, right? Then you know who knows what the fuck that could cause for Germany, you know
It could cause.
Jewish
I
people and
mean,
stuff
it
like
could
that.
cause
Exactly.
an equally bad event to happen.
Exactly. Because maybe Mussolini took over. Maybe he caused World War II, and maybe he won World War II. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's such a crazy thing, you know. Like it takes the good and the bad to make us as people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So to take that away and just potentially only leave the good, like as I said, World War II and Hitler, and like somebody goes back in time and shoots Hitler in the face and he's dead, bam, World War II never happens, or he gets accepted into art school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's such a crazy thing to ponder that you don't know what the fuck the ramifications could be.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's decided. All right, you and me are gonna start. Thanks for listening to everybody. It was a great episode. That's our joke to end the episode.
Oh my god.
That's how we're gonna end it.
Oh,
You know,
uh-huh.
that's another thing. I don't think that, like, I don't think like knowledge and literature should be
Banned.
banned.
100%.
You know? I think knowledge in all shapes and forms. You just have to know what to do with that knowledge, like mentally and emotionally, and then sometimes physically.
I don't know.
You have to know. You have to be able to handle. Like, you have to be mentally prepared and emotionally prepared to read it and understand and come to a
So
conclusion that is.
so you want to limit knowledge, but you don't want to fully ban it. Because for example,
Because
Mhm.
because like I don't think anybody should just read.
right,
You know,
an Necronomicon or some bullshit.
Yeah, no. I think you have to train, or you have to, like, let's say that you have to not you like, okay, so let's think of it like this. So this is the only example that I can give. I'm sure I could make up a real life example, but just imagine Doctor Strange,
Okay.
right? When he starts out at Carmartage, he is starting with all these introductory books,
Right.
and then eventually he works his way up into astral projection, and then he eventually he steals the whatever the fucking book is called,
Right.
the Book of the Dark Dimension,
Yes.
and then he starts meddling with time, and then they're like, no, you shouldn't do that, and like that one, it's banned until you become the Sorcerer Supreme, and then you can read it. You know, you have to work
Right.
your way up. I think.
Right. So once again, limit knowledge but not ban it because you have to be the Sorcerer Supreme in order to get that book.
Yep. You gotta be able to. You gotta be able to do magic. That's.
I see, because I'm from believer of that too. Like, I don't think there's no such thing as bad knowledge. It's just bad intentions. You get me?
Yep.
So I do believe
Yep.
there should be a limit as to who can read it, but maybe having
Because if I go out right now and I pick up like a super intense philosophy book, I'm not going to know how to read it, what to take away from it. I have to take other books, read those first, do training and all that other stuff,
right.
and then
But then,
be able.
but then it's gonna come into who is deciding how it should be limited. You get me? 'Cause then we gotta take their intentions into consideration, right? Like if I only want, so and so party or so and so people to read it, then and that's my intention, and I'm the owner of the book, or I'm the selector of the limitations, or whatever the fuck the case might be. Like, such a slippery slope, such a fucking slippery slope. But I do believe knowledge
It
should never be
snowballs.
banned. Oh, dude, it always does. It always does. It always does.
I mean, you can always add a step before or after anything. You can always.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the idea of counting to infinity. You can count. So here's a thought exercise. You can count to infinity within 1 second.
Infinity.
Think of it like that. So between 0.000 seconds on a timer to 1 second, cut that in half. You get 0.5 seconds. Cut that in half. You get 0.25. Cut that in half. Cut that in half. Cut that. You get a countable amount of infinity in a finite.
I see what you mean now. I see.
Because
what you
you can
mean.
always cut it in
Divide it.
half.
Exactly. Like pi.
You can pit
3.14, so on and so forth.
exactly. Yep.
That's very
Yep.
interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. I'll send you a video link.
Ooh, all right. But I think that should do it for today's podcast. Thank you.
Yeah, a
guys.
little more serious on the back half, but
It's the
no, I
tipsy
thought
soju.
that was fun.
It's a tipsy soju. I'm telling you. Like we should definitely do a drunk podcast. I feel like that would be so much fun.
Yeah, maybe next. Well, I don't know. Depending on how we feel, we'll
I'm
find out how we
Always down
want
for
to
a
do it,
drink. Always down for a drink.
and we'll just be hammered.
Dude, I don't need an excuse. Trust me. But yeah, dude. It was a great podcast. I think we did great.
Back
this
in
time.
the saddle.
Back in the saddle.
in
Halloween
the
was
saddle.
over. Thanksgiving is coming. I hope you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving. Be safe. Don't do anything I would do.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Oh, man.
Maybe that should be our closer line
shit.
every time.
There you go. There you go. We found our exiting catchphrase.
Mm. Well, we hope you guys' batteries have been recharged a little bit. Yeah, no, this was definitely fun. Can't wait for next week. I'm gonna get back to grinding God of War. So.
Ooh, Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
Top tier. Hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy. Save this until next week, where maybe you'll finish the God of War, and we can continue off where we left off.
Yeah, sure, that'll be fun.
Alrighty. All right. So
We can discuss it.
there we go. There we go. Spoilers in the next episode. So I hope you beat God of War by then.
And we can continue discussing knowing your outcome and walking that path.
Ooh, all right, there, All Father, calm down. All right.
All right, boys. Bye-bye.
Bye.